Today I am playing the semi-final round of the tournament that we have coordinated on the Discord. Okay, let's get right into it. So, this is my opponent, Tougarashi, and like I just said, we are in the semi-final round. This is all coordinated through the Discord. So, something I also wanted to add was that the development team is very active on Twitter, but they post card spoilers like one a day and then direct you to the Discord for all the rest of the card spoilers. So the Discord is really the place to be for engagement with the other players and the dev team. So I talked a lot over this first turn, so let's get stuff going. It looks like I can't even play Chemtrail Pilot without a target for the selected character, which leaves me with the goat, which is kind of useless. Everybody jump, which is, again, pointless to dodge in the first scene of the game. So that leaves me with Meathead Butcher, and if I play the Meathead Butcher, I'm only going to have 2 frames left, which means Lizard is not a viable play. So the question is, am I going to be attacking or performing? And I picked Jawzy here because my opponent has some bigger health leads here with the 5 health Bloodbeard and the 6 health Rexshaw. So Jawzy has 5 health, my own chicken has 4 health, and the pirate and Rexshaw both have 4 attack, so I figured I was going to lose the chicken to an attack if I played out the chicken, and in this case Jawzy ideally has the chance to survive. So with him surviving, oh nice. Alright, so I found a Defective Fog Machine. Now I really love the Defective Fog Machine because it gives horror characters +1/+1. That includes the Lizard lead and the Goat. But also the Chemtrail Pilot, you can see in the bottom, is a horror character, and the Meathead Butcher is a horror character. So most of the side characters in my deck are horror due to having the Fog Machine. My question is, I want to perform with Jawzy, but I don't know if I can perform in frames where I'm not getting attacked, so I'm going to give that up. Looks like I could have performed in the first 2 frames. And I would have been safe, but you can never know that. So instead, I wanted to take out one of my opponent's characters and play the Fog Machine. So the reason that I prioritized taking out my opponent's characters is that the pirate, if you look at the left side of the screen here, has a combo if my opponent kills 2 enemy characters. So I figured, given the risk of performing on my own and my opponent's incentive to attack, I want to take out as many of my opponent's characters on the board as possible. Ideally, that would be the pirate, because the lead is how you win the game, but I'm not really equipped to kill the pirate right now. So this Pengnum PI is action characters and crew. Attack equal to that. So I should not really add any action. Actually, I don't have any action cards in my deck at all. The chicken is a sci-fi lead, so the Pengnum PI will grow bigger as my opponent throws out cards. I really want to play Everybody Jump, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play Everybody Jump. I'm going to take out this Pengnum PI, and because I have an extra frame here, I'm tossing in the Goat. And it looks like I did make it in time, but when I record and play these games, I tend to use up all of my turn timer. So I got killed before I could attack with my Butcher, but I dodged the attack of the pirate. Now the pirate is frozen, which means it can't dodge. So I think it would be really beneficial to attack the pirate right now. I just can't kill it. I only have 4 attack on the board, and I have no damage tropes. I mean, I don't have any damage tropes in the deck, period, but maybe let's try to get the Flat Earth Turtle out. So the turtle costs 5 frames, you can see here, and Taggin costs 1. So what I think I'm going to do is tag out the goat, put in the turtle, and because I'm doing that, I might as well get an attack in with the goat, and then let's play the Chemtrail Pilot and keep the pirate frozen. However, I kind of think my opponent is going to take his pirate out soon with a different lead. Seeker missiles, and then this penguin right here gets a swift attack. This is actually the first time I've ever summoned the 6/6 off of the baby sacrificial goat. So right, I have to select character. The Cthulhu actually changes my selection here. So, the goat has a 25% chance of summoning me a 6/6. And this is the first time it's ever happened. I mean, I've played the goat more than 4 times, but that's how randomness works. I got the 6/6, which means that if I put in my Flat Earth Turtle, the 6/6 may die. And while I do like the turtle and lizard combo, I feel like the board that I've developed is relatively large right now, and I didn't want to give up that board advantage. The problem with having a board against the pirate character is that they want to kill my characters. So let's go with... I do have the spotlight. I made no narrative progress while Jaws was on the board. So that's rough, and my opponent is almost halfway done, more than halfway done with their narrative arc. So my problem here is that if I attack, and my guy gets attacked in the same frames, my attack will be interrupted. So I think I should just try for the attack anyway, and my best guess is that my opponent was going to attack the 2/3 to try to kill it, but that didn't end up happening. They subbed out their lead for the Rickshaw, and so now what I want to do is kill the Rickshaw with my Meathead Butcher. However, the Meathead Butcher only has 1 health, so I think that this Ingoon is going to hit the Meathead Butcher. Unfreeze a selected character, it dodges until end of scene, and then it attacks back. So here's what I think is going to happen. They are going to hit the Meathead Butcher with the 1/1. They're going to hit the Cthulhu with the Rickshaw, and so I want to wake and roll the Cthulhu in order to get him to attack the Rickshaw back when that happens, and then I will summon my lizard just because I don't have anything else great to do with my remaining 3 frames, and having a lead on the board is, it's how you win the game, is progressing the lead's narrative arcs. So I'd rather have a lead on the board than not. Oh, and what I learned, right, coming back to this, is that when the Cthulhu is summoned by the goat, it still freezes by 3. I've had that question a couple times. So we can preview here that the Rickshaw is attacking someone. Who's it going to be is the big question. And it was the 2/3. So, not what I expected to happen, but maybe my opponent was predicting a wake and roll. Now, the Rickshaw can't dodge unless they have a trope that lets them dodge. So I think it's very important that I kill the Rickshaw. The question, as always, is when is my Cthulhu going to be attacked? So that can be interrupted. And I think they will attack my Cthulhu early. So I'm going to play a Meathead Butcher and then attack in the last frames of this scene. So let's see how this goes. Selected unfrozen enemy character attacks, so they attack my lead. They play the chicken, so them casting their leads is really interrupting my my attacks. However, my attacks are really only to take the leads out of commission. So let's do let's do this attack. Nope. I think that one of these is going to try to hit my lizard. So I'm going to dodge with my lizard, attack, try to kill the chicken, and then since I have an extra frame and I have a goat in hand, just toss out that goat. Looks like my Flat Earth Turtle combo is going to be saved for later in the game. And the Flat Earth Turtle combos with the Illuminati Lizard. And I did learn today that leads only generate their own narrative for themselves. They can't use their narrative ability to generate free narrative. So there's really diminished returns using the Flat Earth Turtle once the lizard is complete. So I might try to sub out or sub in a new lead if the lizard is close to being complete. All right, so not what I predicted happened here. And since my Meathead Butcher's out of the game, his attack doesn't happen. Deal 3 damage. Oh, they dealt 3 damage to my Meathead Butcher. All right. I still really have to focus on killing my opponent's lead, because I'm way behind. I mean, if we look at their narrative progression, almost all their leads are halfway done, and I barely have one lead halfway done. So my point is I don't think I can summon 2 things, Fog Machine and Carnivore, which would be a play if I was very ahead. Instead, I'm going to have to try to trade with the chicken, and then I'm thinking just play a Fog Machine. The stat bonus is really good in this case, since I have all 4 of my characters on board are horror. Let's just check. Yeah, the baby Cthulhu is horror. So having a second Fog Machine will give all my characters currently on the board +1/+1. And actually, even the Carnivore is horror. If you look at that, the Conniving Carnivore is a horror. So I was able to successfully land an attack on the chicken and take it out of commission, which means that this performance will generate free narrative. They send the penguin into the Cthulhu, probably expecting to interrupt the Cthulhu's attack, unless this is a swift. This swift attack. So a selected enemy character. So they had to choose the enemy character during casting. It's really, I'm ahead on board, but since my opponent has no lead out, I can't, what am I trying to say? I can't attack the lead. So I'm thinking now is the Conniving Carnivore turn. So I play out the Conniving Carnivore. And then I feel like the Vaccinut Doctor. So what the Vaccinut Doctor will do, he will give all enemy characters Splinter, which means that they take return damage. And I feel like my opponent is going to start attacking around with these guys. So okay, I'm actually going to send in the Vaccinut Doctor first, and then the Carnivore. I originally thought to put in the Vaccinut Doctor later, so that the enemy lead would gain Splinter, but we can see Alright, so I didn't quite realize this. It looks like the Splinter debuff from Vaccinut Doctor is an aura effect. I thought it was part of the Enters effect. So my opponent's Rexhaw will still have Splinter. And I like this in this instance because I have an 8/3 over here. So anyone who attacks the 8/3 is going to take 8 damage back, which means they'll probably send in one of the Pingnum PIs. Overall, the Rexhaw also grants Unstoppable, so the whole attack interruption thing is irrelevant for me. I can't interrupt my opponent's attacks. I really feel like I need to get a lead out. I just don't understand who. So let's tag in the goat and then put in the chicken and then attack with the butcher. I kind of lost the thread here because I'm not sure how I prevent my opponent from. So friendly character lands an attack, the rickshaw gains a narrative. I don't really understand how I'm going to gain narrative faster than my opponent. Especially because I left the rickshaw at 1 health. They took out the Vaccinate Doctor, which means that Splinter Aura is gone. So I think that my best shot here is the chicken into the rickshaw. Because if the rickshaw dodges, the chicken will have a second attack and still hit it. However, I am pretty confident that the Pingdom PI is going to hit my chicken in these first 2 frames. So let's instead do this. Let's hit that, and then because I have an extra frame, toss in the goat again. That's what I like about tagging. So unfreeze a friendly character, it dodges, and then hits back. So that's Wake and Roll. I played one of those earlier. I'm curious if the chicken gets to land its second attack. It does. So what I didn't understand ahead of time was if that Wake and Roll would send the rickshaw back into my Cybocock or not. And it looks like it did not because of the chicken's lead ability of this attacks twice. I mean, I only landed 1 attack, because I only generated 1 narrative. The Flat Earth Turtle is a sci-fi character, so it doesn't benefit from these Defective Fog Machines, and I did draw my 3rd Defective Fog Machine. So, I mean, I'm in a bit of trouble here because 3 Fog Machines is nice for the buff, but it needs characters to buff for characters on the board, and I don't have any draw in this deck, so I would say that this Pingdom PI, this 3-attack Pingdom PI, is going to try to take out my Cthulhu. Which means that I should kill the Pingdom PI. As a backup, I can play the Fog Machine and give the Cthulhu 1 more health. He actually dodged with the Pingdom PI. So, again, my chicken only lands 1 attack. But you can see now that my Cthulhu went to 9-4. And I think that a 9-4 is... Oh my goodness, I forgot about the turtle. Alright, my own turtle hurts me here. So this is what I was worried about earlier. Is that I protected my Cthulhu so much, and I just ended up losing it in the Flat Earth turn. So, my opponent seemed to have known that was coming. Oh my gosh, look at that. So once again, I summon a 6/6 baby Cthulhu off of the Sacrificial Goat. It is frozen for 3, and it has +3/+3 from my Defective Fog Machines. But my only attackers are the chicken and the turtle. So I can, in the end, kill the Pirate Bloodbeard, because chicken will do 4 and turtle will do 1, but I mean, attacking with the turtle hurts a lot. And then, but my only card options are Everybody Jump, or the Conniving Carnivore. I really feel like the pirate is going to try to hit my chicken, which means that I could play Everybody Jump, and then the chicken would dodge. But then I wouldn't be able to kill the pirate. So let's instead let's dodge once, and then attack once, and then there's nothing else I can do for 1 frame, and see how this goes. So I called the dodge, and I saved my trope because I decided to use the dodge. And then this Ping Governor says other friendly gangsters get 1 attack and 1 HP, and it turns out that the Pirate Bloodbeard is a gangster lead. I learned that right now. So now it's a 5/2. It can't dodge itself. The only thing my opponent could do would be play a trope. or they could interrupt my attack with this pin governor. So how about I hit the pin governor and then hit the pirate. And we're really trying to pick out the pirate here. And what is this trope? Deal 3 damage to a random any character. That randomness hits the baby Cthulhu. And then to deal 2 damage to random any characters. It does hit my chicken, but not enough to kill it. So I take out the pirate. Now my chicken is at 5 out of 7 narrative, and then deal gone wrong. So my opponent basically prayed that the random effects would hit the chicken at least once. They did, so he takes out my chicken. But you can see now that I'm 5 out of 7 on the chicken and 4 out of 8 on the lizard. So I feel like this game is neck and neck here. Recall that the goal is to complete 2 lead narrative arcs. So the first person to do that wins, and my opponent is pretty close on all 3 of their leads. So it's rough. They will probably send in the rickshaw. So the question becomes, how do I stop the rickshaw? And the rickshaw shouldn't be a gangster. Nope, it's just a dinosaur, so it won't get the 1/1 from Pin Governor. How do I stop the rickshaw? It's probably Vaxnut Doctor. The problem is I can't play Vaxnut Doctor with Lizard because Lizard costs 3 frames. I think my plan here is to play Lizard, finish Lizard, conniving Carnivore on the Lizard to generate 2 free narrative, and then play the Cybercock and get his 6 and 7 stars. So let's send in that, and then my only other card option is the Chemtrail Pilot. So both of my onboard characters are frozen, which means I couldn't do anything with them, perform, dodge, or attack. And then the Chemtrail Pilot will get +3/+3 from the fog machines. And you know what I did not think about was that my opponent had some free narrative and finished the rickshaw right away. So their best bet, I mean, I would have preferred to freeze the rickshaw with the Chemtrail Pilot, but it says selected, which means that you have to target during the casting phase, not during the enters phase. And the rickshaw wasn't on the board during my enters phase. So what I need to do is I need to send characters off the board. That can be my own or my opponent's. Now is when I should play Everybody Jump, I believe. Because no, the rickshaw probably won't attack. They're probably going to send in the Pirate Bloodbeard. Now, tag-in progresses Lizard's arc. I think that's what I have to do. All right, try to hit the rickshaw, get the Pin Governor, and then take out the Chemtrail Pilot. Deal 2 damage to a selected character. If it dies, gain narrative. So they generated themselves 1 free narrative by killing their own thing. They tried to perform again, so they tried to get the free narrative from the performance, but I should take that performance narrative here. And that is what happens. And then tagging out... all right, I'm choosing this because I believe that the tag out should give Lizard 1 star before the Carnivore enters, and then Lizard will be complete, Carnivore will enter, destroy the Lizard, and give me 2 free narrative. We see that does happen that way. Watch the Lizard performance. It's not a performance. I don't know. Ultimate ability. And then Lizard finished his arc. Carnivore generated me 2 free narrative, and now as soon as I summon the Cybercock, he will take the 2 free narrative and win the game. My opponent's only hope is to either play they don't have the Comico Frog lead, so that lead will steal my free narrative. And I have 2 free narrative and I need it to win. So the frog would steal my free narrative, or they could play something that I guess they could play a different card that steals. I assume it steals free narrative. So let's add some cards in here on the off chance that my opponent somehow maneuvers around me. But it looks like they tried to play the pirate, who comes in on the 3rd frame. My chicken comes in on the 2nd frame, and the game ends as soon as I finish that. So that was game 1 of the semifinal match. Okay, we're going to queue in for the second match in our best of 3 with Tougarashi. The deck lists are static, so I'm playing the same list, and my opponent should be as well. And what we learned last game, aside from my misplays with the Flattered Turtle, is that my opponent is really, let's see, they like to dodge, so we know that they try to call dodges on their leads. They didn't really interrupt my attacks all that often, especially not as often as I thought they would, given their Wreckshot and Pirate Bloodbeard. I mean, all 3 of these leads are attack-based, including the chicken, but the chicken only matters when the chicken attacks himself. And I have another lesson, but I want to finish this turn out. So my plan here is to do Jaw Z, Vaxnut Doctor, then perform with them twice to summon the Rat Battle Host. And I don't know that my opponent will be expecting that game plan. We also learned that, so my third lesson here is that my opponent has a lot of tropes that deal me damage, random damage, targeted damage. They really work hard to remove my characters through any means necessary, attacking or tropes, which again is a little surprising given their lead setup. So I am pretty confident that Bloodbeard is going to attack the Vaxnut Doctor. Bloodbeard does have Splinter, but 3 or 2 won't kill the Bloodbeard. Actually, I believe if I freeze the Bloodbeard, then it won't attack. So I'm going to send in a Chemtrail Pilot. And since I have the Spotlight, now this is a pretty critical reason why I chose the Chemtrail Pilot here. Since I have the Spotlight and attacks land in the second frame of their 2 frame cost, and so does Chemtrail Pilot, my Chemtrail Pilot will land earlier, and then I'm going to toss in the Defective Fog Machine just as a board building tool. We saw how effective that was last game. So they chose to Premature Reflex, which is a swift attack. Not what I expected at all. The 3 damage to a random enemy character. So they landed that 3 random on my Jaw Z. And then... so the 2 sail-by shootings took out 2 characters, and that should give the pirate their combo. Wow. So super not what I was expecting. However, I believe that tropes that... Well, I won't say that, because I'm not completely sure. What I can say, though, is that I was going to... my other option was to perform with the Vaxnut Doctor first and the Jaw Z second. And if that had happened, I wouldn't have landed the performance with the Jaw Z, and I would have no board right now and no narrative. So at least I am in the position that I'm in. Now, how I kill the pirate is rough. I guess I have to attack this turn and next turn. So I'm considering throwing in the lizard, but the lizard will be a 2/7. My other option is the chicken, and no, I think I'm going to do the lizard. So I don't have a very chunky hand here in terms of characters. I mean, Rat Battle Host is a 3/4 and Vaxnut Doctor is a 3/2. They're okay. I mean, the 3 attack is pretty strong, especially if the Vaxnut Doctor were on the board with Splinter. But this Ping Governor here, giving it +1/+1, is generally pretty good. I mean, it would affect the breakpoint in a different situation, but since both my characters have 2 attack right now, it does not affect the breakpoint. And what I really think will happen is that they're going to try to hit my lizard with 1 or more of these. Maybe the Penguin PI, maybe they're going to summon more action characters and then attack with the Penguin PI. So that makes me want to play Wake and Roll. All right, I'm going to make a predictive call here, is that they don't attack in the first 2 frames. So I'm going to hit the pirate, and then I'm going to Wake and Roll my own lizard, and that will unfreeze him and make him dodge. So let's see how this goes. They played the goon here. What's this one called? Yeah, Pingoon, and interrupt my attack. So that is rough stuff. But I do still, so it freezes my lizard, the interruption, but I played Wake and Roll on the lizard, so the lizard gets to unfreeze and then return the attack. So what's this? I don't understand why it stole a narrative star. But I'll live. I think it's okay. All of my unfrozen enemy characters have 2 health, so I'm pretty sure one or more of them is going to attack, and that means that I want to play the Vaccinet Doctor. Now, the Vaccinet Doctor will enter the scene in frame 2. Any of my opponent's attacks will occur in frame 2. Actually, they have the Spotlight, so I guess the first attack would land before the Vaccinet Doctor gets in. So maybe that's not right. I mean, the other option is everybody jump, but I don't know what dodging really does for me here. So let's instead get that in. I mean, I almost ran out of time, so I had to make a snap decision, but I was pretty sure that my opponent was going to try to take out the lizard, and they took it out with a new Pingoon, so actually none of my play options would have worked. So instead, I summoned a chicken and Vaccinet Doctor. Now, my opponent did get to eliminate both of my characters, meaning they completed their combo. So this, and then they performed. Oof. So that pirate is just done, and I have no narrative built up at all. I mean, I had 0 progress. I do have the 1 stolen star on the Pink Governor that I can take back, but I mean, I'm just way behind, right? So how do I catch up? Performing. So if I can perform with the Rap Battle Host and the Jaw Z, they will generate free narrative, or just narrative, much faster than normal. However, this they're probably going to summon the Rickshaw, because any character landing an attack gives the Rickshaw a star. And I need this Ping Governor to be out, because then all of these lose +1/+1. So I need the Ping Governor away. I feel like the Rickshaw is going to come in first. If they were greedy, they'd do the Rickshaw to get all their attacks a narrative, but I think this is my best choice. And then this, and then I guess the Carnivore. So I didn't really want to play the Carnivore, but I don't think I have another choice to develop a board. And since they used that trope on the pirate, my Carnivore is going to enter. There's going to be no lead for it to destroy, and then it's going to destroy itself. So I wasted the chicken attack and the Carnivore play here. All those frames are just useless. I have 1 free narrative, and actually they trade in their Pingnam PI to kill the Vaccinet Doctor. That gets them a star. So, wow, I am in a lot of trouble here. If I don't play any characters, then they can't attack, but then they'll just form, and I don't have the tropes to take out characters in this deck. So, I mean, I guess what I could really use would be a Flat Earth Turtle and a trope that wakes it up. That's obviously not in my hand. If I play out the Rap Battle Hosts, I feel like they're just going to die to Rickshaw. They don't even get the Fog Machine buff. So Lizard would be a 2/7, Jaw Z would be a 2/5. I think I'm going to play the Goat and the Butcher. I'm just going to try to get out big stuff. Because I'm going to have to attack into the Pingoons. As we can see right here, my opponent is performing a bunch of times. Or I guess just once, and then playing the Madcap Stuntman. So I have not seen the Madcap Stuntman in competitive match yet. And it says, when a friendly character with 2 attack or less attacks, this transforms into a 4/4 character and attacks the same target instead. So they will certainly be attacking with one of the 1/1s right now and hitting my guys for 4. No Splinter either. So I guess I have to call my 50-50 on which 1/1 is going to be attacking when. So let's hit this one, and then... No, I want to stay alive. So everybody's going to jump, and then I'm going to take out the 1/1s. I mean, I really have to take out this Rickshaw at some point, but I don't think that it's great right now. Luckily, I landed the everybody dodge right away, so that doesn't matter. They have another 1/1, though. I mean, the dodge only lasts for 1 attack, so if Rickshaw attacks the Meathead Butcher again, I would get hit, but that's not the case. They attack the Jaw Z, so everybody jump was so critical here, to the point that it might have won me the game. The Madcap Stuntman is frozen for 3. So, alright. So the Stuntman will not transform into a 4/4 this scene. At least as far as I understand. Like I said, I've never actually seen it in action before. The Rickshaw is frozen, which means that right now is my opportunity to kill the Rickshaw. My opponent probably knows this, and so my opponent will probably try to interrupt my attacks. I feel like attacking with the Jaw Z first, and then the Meathead Butcher. Because that would be counterintuitive. I feel like normally you'd attack with your highest attack person first. However, my opponent may mind games me and send in the Cybercock. Take out the Rickshaw. I really don't think that's in their best interest. So let's do this. Boom, boom, and then I'm going to send in the Goat instead of the Carnivore because... Oh, so they attacked my Sacrificial Goat instead. Let's see if I get a Cthulhu. I don't, and I think that's fair. I got 2 in the last game. Unfreeze the selected enemy character. It dodges, which means that it's going to dodge this and then hit it back. I mean, that's not the biggest deal because the Meathead Butcher was going to take splinter damage anyway. The big deal, though, is that they got 2 stars, and they performed. Okay, alright, so, wow. That I think that went down really fast in the scheme of things. I did not expect my opponent to win this scene, but the Wake and Roll... the Wake and Roll gave them 2 stars from the lead ability and the Wake and Roll trope. So, yeah, I mean, as I was saying, I had to get that Rickshaw out as soon as possible out of the scene, but it was pretty difficult to do given how my opponent controlled the board. All right, as I said, it's a best of 3 format for the semifinal. Well, for all rounds in the tournament, best of 3, and we are 1-1. So here goes the final match, and I hit Tougarashi. So let's go, and this is the match decider for the semifinal round of the first official ScreenPlay tournament. Same deck lists. We know that my opponent has the Wake and Roll. Let's keep that in mind. Wake and Roll dodges, gives them a dodge, gives them a counterattack, and a narrative if they dodge and counterattack. I don't have any fog machines. I can't even send out the Chemtrail Pilot, which means that if I put in the lizard costs 3 frames, right? We can see here at the top of the screen. Lizard costs 3 frames, means I wouldn't be able to play anything else. So I have to eliminate the lizard from consideration, and that means I'm playing either the Cybercock or the Jaw Z. And if I played Jaw Z, I would want to perform with him next turn, but that will probably get interrupted. So I'm going to do Chicken, Butcher, and try to use that 4+3 attack to eliminate whichever lead comes out onto the board. They play a Pingoon. This is a Pingnum PI with only one attack. So the question becomes... which of my characters is going to be targeted and have their attack interrupted. But I think it's my absolute goal right now to kill the pirate. See, that's what I want to say. But knowing my opponent's deck, they have tropes. They have tropes floating around. So let's instead Chemtrail Pilot the pirate, and then Cybocock the other character on board, and then I'm not going to waste my time on the tagging. Oh man, the premature reflex. Okay, so I was thinking that the Chemtrail Pilot lands before anything my opponent can do, because I have the spotlight, but the premature reflex says no to that. And they killed 2 characters. Alright, and they performed with the Pingnum PI, so it is the second scene of the match, and I am already unfathomably behind. I drew another tag-in. Tag-in is rough, given the state of my hand. If I had bigger, chunkier guys in hand, that would be okay. I think what I'm going to have to do is tag in an almost dead Butcher for a fresh Butcher. And I mean, unless I draw something bigger soon. But like I said, I am behind because the pirate only needs to kill 2 enemy characters in a scene, and they'll get 3 narrative towards their arc. So if 2 of my characters die in one scene, then it'll already be Act 2, and I have no narrative gained. So let's look at this. They play a Pen Gangster, and they perform. Their randomness hits my lizard, but my goal right now is to take as many of my opponent's characters off the board as possible. They will, I expect, continue to play tropes.
Now here are your 360 joints thaw.
Play tropes that control my board. So how do I... Okay, what I'd really like to do is send the Meathead Butcher into the, whatever this is, Pen Gangster. I think what's better to do is to wake and roll the lizard, because I think my opponent is going to try to hit it, and then Chemtrail the pirate. I may have prematurely chemtrailed because I can use the chemtrail a lot better on the Rickshaw. However, I have 2 tag-ins in hand. So I think that what I might do is tag out the Chemtrail Pilot, put in the new Meathead Butcher, so that I can play the Chemtrail Pilot again on the Rickshaw when it comes in. Cybercock can't be frozen, so that's not useful. They perform... Oh, I forgot about this. So performing causes any dodging character to freeze. It's one of the rock, paper, scissors mechanics. And they really prayed that their random damage hit my lizard, unless that was a 2. Is this missiles? Does it... I think it was missiles, and it hits 2 random enemy characters. So they were pretty confident that it would hit the lizard. So my lizard's out. The pirate is complete due to a performance. I really think it's going to be Rickshaw here as their lead of choice. I still don't have any fog machines, which means that my horror characters are just at their base stats. So if it's Rickshaw, and Rickshaw has 6 health, I just, with all of the tropes going around and the dodging and the attacking, I don't think I'm going to win by performance, which means that it's got to be Cybercock. All right, attack in here, Cybercock, and then tagging in the Chemtrail Pilot and the, well, okay, I was going to play my other tag in on the Butcher. Wait a second. I figured that the Meathead Butcher attacking the Pengoon, the Pengangster would interrupt the Pengangster's attack, but it turned out to be the other way. I mean, I'm down to a 3-4 or 3-7. It's got to be the 3-7, given the 5 attack Rexhaw. And did I just draw Rap Battle Host? Oh, man. What did I really need to draw? I really needed to draw a, maybe a Flatter Turtle or a Defective Fog Machine. But given the state of things, I have to Chemtrail the Rexhaw. And then do this. No, do that. So the Chemtrail Rexhaw should be frozen. And then all of my attacks should land. That's what I'm thinking here. Because I don't believe that any of my opponent's attackers will interrupt my attacks. I mean, the 1-1 here, the Pengoon could. But I don't think that's going to happen. So the Rexhaw dodges. Oh, look at that. So the dodge doesn't work because I froze the Rexhaw. That's nice. But then that 1-1 is going to perform, which is rough. It goes to free narrative. Looks like both of his remaining leads require 7. So free narrative is, just as valuable as normal narrative. They have to play their Cybercock if they want to play a lead. I feel like Cybercock is, equivalent to Rexhaw here. So I'm just thinking about what do I need to do to simultaneously counter my opponent's lead and progress my own game plan. Assuming they put in Cybercock, they probably use some of these to just perform. If I'm reading my opponent here from our first 2 games, so what am I going to do? Attack this, tag it out, attack this one, and then do nothing. All right, let's see how it goes. They do play the Cybercock, which is not completely a surprise. I take out one of their characters here, which was my goal. I tag out that, so that should, when I play it again, it should be a 3-7, which is why I did it. I took my 3-1 and I'm going to turn it back into a 3-7. And then they perform with, I hope to God that it's one of the characters I eliminated. It was probably the 1-1. Personally, what I would do is I'd like to pick my weakest characters to perform. So that's my sacrificial goats and maybe chemtrail pilots, stuff like that my opponents tend to not care about as much because they're weak. I use them to perform because they're less likely to be attacked. I can't believe I landed a defective fog machine. So do I play the fog machine for only the chemtrail pilot? I feel like the chemtrail pilot won't be attacked right now. They probably want to Cybercock to finish a narrative, and the question is, do they Cybercock my cock or my rap battle host? Probably my rap battle host. I'm just gonna make a read here. They probably hit the rap battle host. I'm going to try to interrupt the chicken attack and then do this. So I didn't choose to play the fog machine. Felt like I needed to get more attacks in. I forgot about premature reflex being a thing. They dodged with their chicken, and then they attacked with the chicken. Okay, so another thing to note is that when you interrupt an attack, you do +1 damage. Didn't particularly matter in this case, but I think it's interesting to note how the interruption happens. We saw in a previous scene that I was confused that both attacks didn't cancel each other when the characters target each other. I don't really have time to reflect on it right now. I mean, I have rested back the board here. My chicken is almost done. He only has 2 on his lead, and I have 1 on my lizard. So do I play the fog machine, knowing that I want to finish lizard? I might just play fog machine and butcher right now. Yeah. All right. Fog machine, butcher. My personal goal here is to finish the lizard's narrative arc once the chicken is done. My opponent only has Rexha on the board. They chose not to play any cards from their hand. They have 4 in hand. I have 5. I guess they're all tropes, because I don't know why you would not summon any more characters, given Rexha's ability. So, I don't know how familiar all the viewers are with the game, but I'm aware of Rexha here. So Rexha says any friendly character lands an attack, gain narrative. So you want other characters on the board to do that. So my guess is that my opponent has a bunch of tropes. We know they have Wake and Roll. So Wake and Roll says you dodge until end of scene. I really think my opponent's going to Wake and Roll right away, try to get that narrative that we saw last time. So what should I do instead? Perform with chicken, perform with Rat Battle Host, dodge with chicken. So my opponent doesn't attack me at all, which means that both my performances should go off. I believe I'm going to summon both Rat Battle Hosts, develop a huge board, and then my performance in the middle of Rexha dodging freezes the Rexha, which means that I can hit the Rexha pretty safely. Take the Rexha off the board. Now, the chicken, maybe I don't want to take the Rexha off the board. Because my opponent would then just play out the chicken who's already 2 in on the narrative arc. Let's I'm considering performing a bunch of times with the Rat Battle Hosts, generating free narrative, and then playing the lizard and absorbing all that free narrative to win the game. I don't imagine that my opponent would send a Pen Governor into a 3/4 Rat Battle Host. They'd probably send it into the 3/2. So let's just do this, and then Carnivore it up, honestly. Oh, Carnivore generates free narrative. I don't need my lead anymore. It's complete, so the Carnivore doesn't matter to me. They played Cloning Around. They really want the Pen Governor. Now, this is not something I predicted. That Pen Governor hits a 3/4 because it's now a 4/4 due to the other Pen Governor. So, not what I expected. I would have performed with the 3/2 if that had been the case. Now, they just deal gone wrong to my 3/2. So the 3/2 was vulnerable regardless, which is what I thought, but I did not really expect a 3/4 to die. Luckily, the whole setup that it took my opponent to, that it took Tougarashi to get the King Governor to a 4/4, I had finished my performance. So the huge risk in performance is that if the performance gets attacked and interrupted, those stars, not only do I not get the stars, they go to my opponent. So I could have been in real trouble there if the frames had worked out differently, but you can see now that I have 7 free narrative, and the lizard's going to enter on the first frame of the match. So it has 1 out of 8. It's gonna take all 7, and then I should just win the game. But let's toss out a backup in case something unexpected happens. But we see the lizard enter animation, watch all the stars go over to the lizard, and then his ultimate ability, and the game should end right there. First frame of the scene. So that was the 3rd match of the semifinals. I took it 2-1. Wow, I mean that was one of the most back and forth 3-game matches that I have ever done, and wow. So I think that the code word in the comments, if you watch the video all the way through, write semifinal. Maybe give me a dino emoji if they have a dino emoji, because that dino scared me a lot. It was really powerful of my opponent, the various ways that the dino interacted with their tropes and stuff, but I think in the end it was just the luck of the draw there. My opponent didn't have many. Well, in the second game they won due to their tropes, but then in this 3rd game I think they didn't have enough characters to outplay mine. Once I gained that board back, I was really behind early, but then once I took the board back, they just couldn't keep up. The tropes that they had left in their hand couldn't stop me. So. And we actually saw in the 3rd game that performances won the day from the rap battle hosts, which I thought this whole time performances would be too risky. So intense stuff. Great gameplay by Tougarashi. And I will catch you in the finals video coming out next.